Should be good. Did I even focus in on everything? Well, Nick, do you have it streaming?
I'm waiting for it to come up. All right, there we go.
Okay, focus using Nick and Nick's in. Is there a difference like between the? No, it's about the same.
No, it's about the same.
About the same.
It's grainy, but we knew that already.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So some of this. Does this make it look weird? No.
So I'm going to do
Oh, that's gonna fizz up nice.
No.
Okay, Ethan, you can put your headphones on. Thank you, Ian, for your patience. And do we have anything yet?
Yes. Special Monday night edition.
Oh, you're getting it?
Yep.
Now, there's a funny thing. Ethan should be seeing the chat on the side there, and it isn't there. So, and that normally automatically loads when you stream to YouTube. All right, well, I'm sorry, Nick, you're going to have to be on chat duty.
That is fine.
And Ethan, if one of our voices sounds weird, you got the 4 sliders right there on the mixer. They can turn up and down, and I have to remember to pay you before you leave because you got to be out of here in 15 minutes, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, good. Just to be safe.
You can tell Joe, hey, I was at Brian's house. All right, so welcome to RCR Podcast. I think we're on. Are we getting? Is there anybody in the? Is there anybody watching?
Yeah. So far we have 15 people here. So yeah.
Great. Well, we're gonna put it up on iTunes afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
iTunes.
And I noticed like the audio quality when you go through Open Broadcaster software, it's better than directly streaming to YouTube, which cuts it down like big time. I'm surprised. Like there's not an option right there. See, I did something. The chat used to be there. Now it's not there because that's what's. Yeah, that's what. This is also the first podcast that's being produced by Ethan, who I'm showing him how to do everything. His job in the future will be to read the super chats, so we don't have to read them. You're gonna actually have a conversation. Because that's what I found makes money doing this, is people just want to ask you stuff, but you got to pay money to ask you stuff.
Yes, in the meantime, Ethan will concentrate on his perfectly coiffed ponytail.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Remarkably coiffed.
Also, Ethan, can you hear yourself? Because you have your own microphone right there. Check your own microphone.
Might bring it a little closer.
Yeah. Can you hear yourself in the headphones?
I can hear myself loudly.
Okay, so if we need to ask you some. The plan is then to first get MacBooks only have 2 USB ports in them. So I want to have, instead of doing green screen and stuff where people can do stuff, to just have a monitor right here.
Yeah, that's great.
And then so people can see their own chat. Because there's a lot of negative space going on in here.
Yeah.
So this is car people attempting to have
Taste.
a podcast, and you're our first guest. And
No way!
Hitting the
Seriously.
ground running with a touring comedian.
Yes.
A real one who I admire greatly because I was blown away by your energy for 45 minutes, for an hour.
Yeah.
It's how do you step outside yourself while being up there?
I have had energy and ADHD my entire life.
Yeah.
So I finally figured out how to channel it. And so when I'm on stage, I kind of let everything loose. And I just kind of keep it bottled up during the day. You know?
Okay.
But I don't know, the way my brain works, it just works better when I'm a mile a minute. Even getting work done, I work best when I'm in transit. Like when I'm walking to the subway or I'm on the train, or if my back is up against the wall, I produce way much more. And for some reason, when I'm on stage, I have a couple ideas, and I always have stuff in my pocket, but I like not knowing where it's going to go and just talking so that I'm kind of there with, I'm free falling and kind of pulling my parachute every now and then.
Free falling. That's an interesting word to use.
Well, I mean, it's kind of going up there without, I don't really have a plan. I just like to trust myself enough to go up there and just talk and see where it goes. That's when I have the most fun. And when I have the most fun, I think that has the best results.
Okay, so there was no roadmap for what we saw on Thursday night.
No, like each set I did this weekend was entirely different.
I've never heard of a comedian doing each set a different
So,
thing.
I mean, I had some jokes that I repeat. Like, I'm working on, like, a chunk of, like, relationship stuff. So I made sure to, like, include that and add that on. But how I found it and where it was in the set was totally different each night. And some of the stuff I talked about in the first show, I never talked about for the rest of the weekend. Other stuff I talked different. So then I record everything, and then I listen to it. Well, I should listen to it. I don't really listen as much as I should. But and then I just kind of, write down the things that worked, and then just know that I have that in my head to pull out when I need it. And then, there was some stuff that I just, I had so much fun finding it out in the moment, just, pushing as far as I could with, just keep going with this idea and this topic. And
you had me holding my stomach at this one bit, and I'm not going to say the bit, but it was the kicker was they look like a Doberman's open mouth. I'm like, holy shit. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah, I'm really having fun with saying, there's this whole thing in comedy, like, you can't say anything anymore. No one will take a joke. And it's like, I get away with a lot of shit.
You do.
Because I make it clear that it is a joke.
Yeah.
And, you can say anything with, a little wink and a nod, you know? And I feel like that's what I kind of achieved to be is this little kind of ornery guy on stage. It says the thing you're not supposed to say, but you clearly know I'm joking,
Right.
And I think a lot of it is in delivery and performance.
So speaking of ornery, you drove a very ornery car today. It's our next giveaway car.
Yes.
Matt Farah's video ended, or the 135 giveaway ended. And we will know the winner once the giveaway company owns it or knows it.
How do you choose a winner? What do they have to do to win?
It's run by the New Jersey Gaming Commission. So it's under that. And that is run by Why Not You Gear /Remarkable.io. The people who are watching know Justin Bernash, who's been on the podcast. Great guy. Serial entrepreneur, raced MR2s. Which is MR2 is to cars what I'm trying to think of a comedy connection. Mitch Hedberg. It is only this car works. It's a car it's when Toyota made a cheap Ferrari. Engine in the middle of the car. The first gen had a trunk in the front and a trunk in the back, and the engine's in the middle right behind the seats.
Why would they do that?
Perfect weight distribution. It's because fuck it, we can, and we have the patience to do it. And I think with Mitch Hedberg's comedy, there's a patience to it, in that it's slow, and MR2s were slow, but the more you drive them, the more you like them. It's sort of like an acquired taste in these cars.
You're incredibly good with analogies.
Why, thank you.
When we were at Sheets, you hit me with an analogy for Toyota that just made sense. I mean, I told you I love driving cars. I know nothing about cars, but I really enjoy driving.
But you drive stick like a pro. You drove the next giveaway car is a former race car, but it is street legal and you can drive it, and it has a very, very short shifter. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if Ian Fidance, he says he can drive stick, but this is a raced prepped car. How's he going to do it? And he just pulls away.
Yeah.
I
was pumping it. It was nice. I loved it. It was great. Yeah.
We got to get you in something faster because that really isn't all that fast.
We got to get on an open road. We're going. All right, look. Patreon.com/BeAnIanPod. That's a Patreon for my podcast. Donate, sign up. Let's make some money so that we can all go to Germany on the Autobahn and let me rip and run.
Okay.
Wait, is the Autobahn in Germany?
Yes.
I nailed it.
Yeah.
I am nailing stuff I don't even know about. It is, I loved ripping in that car today when I popped into the fifth on that road and you were like, well,
every time that clutch grabs like
Oh, man. It felt so good.
I think a lot of it, I don't know if it's 373 rear gearing or 410 rear gearing, but it immediately wants to go. Are we popping a little bit? Oh, no, that's your headphones. Okay, that thing does have a compressor built into it, so hopefully, it's
Dude,
fine.
but yeah, we were in Sheets, and you were like, okay, Toyota is kind of the Billy Joel of cars. It was innovative and fresh, and then it really just started to realize it was classic and to not change and just play the hits. And I was like, that makes sense. You need to. I would love to be a part of something where I become.
I think we just lost the video.
Did we just lose it?
I heard a click. Thing's on a delay. Uh-oh.
Oh,
there's.
Ethan, do your job. That I'm
And now-
paying you for.
And now we're.
And I still have hiker money. Like all the money, the money that I'm paying out is all of it has walked the Appalachian Trail. So the
What do you mean? Oh, it's people donated to you?
in exchange, like I run a shuttle, so people need
what?
rides to. Okay,
shuttle.
You know how I listened to your podcast with Basement Carl,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying he was hitching, which is the poor man's way of.
Well, he's very poor. Yes, he's very poor.
A good through hike, because I was in on that podcast when I listened. Like, I know about this because I live the Appalachian Trail as a person who takes care of people. The over-under amount to hike the Appalachian Trail comfortably is $10,000 to do the whole thing. Wow. That if you want to...
I don't think he was doing it comfortably. I think he was, not bathing for weeks. And,
Ew.
Oh, yeah. He was saying how him and his friends were just stinky inky and, hitchhiking and everything. I'm like, Carl, Jesus.
No, most hikers will get a shower every 4 days.
Oh, maybe that's what he was
They'll
doing.
come into a town, they'll go to like any motel they can find and just wash, do laundry, and clean up. But there are some people who are, well... yeah, you know what I mean.
Are you a stinker?
Oh, my car is a bad stinker. It's
Oh
really bad.
no,
Dude, he took me back to get to the Mustang, and we needed more than one garbage bag for your passenger footwell.
Really?
A lot of McDonald's bags. I kind of use it as a trash bag accidentally.
Oh wow! He spends too much time picking out his rings and cleaning his car. Look at that. That is woo. And this is coming from a ring guy. He sounds like Jingle Bells over there.
It's very in line with the season. Although I wanted to ask you personally, in terms of comedy, just how do you engage with crowds when you are having a set that is changing? It's essentially a living set from one night to the next. Like, are you going in there with a thought of like, if somebody says something, or if I see someone who looks like this, I'll integrate them into the act? Or is it really just like a spontaneous
It's a spontaneous thing. And, I do pitch to the crowd where I'll ask them questions, or, sometimes I'll even say, if, let's pick out a topic and I'll talk about it. And I push myself to see how far I can go on that topic and then move on. And I really like that, just kind of driving and not knowing where the road is going to go.
So how long have you been doing stand-up?
12 years.
Wow. What brought you to the decision to pursue it?
I was fucking miserable with my life.
I see that's like a general, because I think Bill Burr kind of said the same thing of like, he was just unhappy with what he was doing. He was like, well, if you can make money doing this, then fucking go for it. And so that's really impressive to me, of just when you can take that.
Well, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it just years of failure, not funny, and 4 jobs at once and so many different things.
Yeah.
And the first year I was full time, I made like $13,000. I was on like food stamps. It was fucking nuts. Yeah. But to get past that and then truly make like a living, it's great. I'm very, very fortunate. I really enjoy my life, and I try to stay in gratitude for that, because it could be very different.
That is a big thing for me. Like, because there are so many things that could go, pear-shaped. And by the same token, I mean, you're in a unique position to be paying the bills with your pen, of just like, well, I mean, I guess everybody pays with, but
with my head.
Your head. It's like,
well, it's interesting because I went to breakfast with my cousins this morning. That's why I was late to getting to you guys. And I hadn't seen them in years, but I'll never forget sitting at their dinner table. Like, I think I want to try this. I want to do an open mic. And they were like, do it. Go, try. And I was like, okay. I got like their blessing.
Yeah.
You out of here?
Yeah, I got
Oh, you break the camera, then you leave? Is that what it is? Huh?
I let one on off, unfortunately.
All right.
All right.
Well, hey, nice meeting you, Ethan.
Thanks for coming out,
This is
Ethan.
a really interesting podcast.
Take
Might
care.
check out later when you guys post it.
Cancel your plans. What are you doing, Ethan? What do you got to do? What's so important?
I got a meeting for my job. What are you doing?
This is your job, Ethan. What's your priorities,
I know I did my first
motherfucker?
certification this morning. It might be about that.
Bye.
Oh. Safe travels, Ethan.
Just kidding. Be careful driving. Oh, that's fun.
Oh, I gotta tell you how I met Ethan. Oh, this is like a good podcast. Oh no, I can't tell you Ethan because I don't want worlds to cry. What do you got?
No, just
Super chat come in?
Well, it's a regular chat. It's just, oh my God, Ian, I loved you on the WHGS podcast. I'm trying to think of what it could be an acronym for.
WHG.
S.
It's not Legion of Skanks, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know, but hey, thanks.
Yeah, well,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to get like I have a portable monitor. It'll be nice for it to be here, but really would be Ethan's job to every now and again chime in with someone says something funny in the
that's
chat.
Fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
or
I
nice.
just got to get that second. Well, I could have just dragged stuff to the second monitor, but that's an old. That thing sounds like the fuel pump in that car every time you try to get that laptop to do
Is that
anything.
that noise that was in that white car? Yeah.
That's a high pressure fuel pump, so that you won't fuel starve the car.
What is a fuel pump?
Okay, a fuel pump is a fancy version of a water circulation pump from an aquarium. Every single car has one. They can look like a little tube of toothpaste, or they can be much bigger. Their whole job is to pump fuel from your fuel tank to your fuel injectors. You know, that if the fuel's in the back of your car, it's got to get to the front of the engine somehow, and there has to be a little pump, and some of them use like a little impeller, like a propeller.
So why was that one so loud?
Because
Was that a propeller?
I think so, an impeller.
I could hear it, man. I just knew it from hearing it, brother.
They, when you get into racing applications, you need to supply more fuel. Excuse me, you have to have more fuel pressure.
I was just about to say that. Yep, you gotta have that pressure.
You gotta see. This is like autism, and well, let me tell you about the facts of how an internal combustion engine works. First, the fuel injectors have to be pressurized to about 120 psi in order to atomize the fuel into a light, misty spray that can be combusted easily inside the
How do you
combustion
know
chamber.
all of this?
Nerd.
How did you get all of this information
This is
in
just-
your head?
Well, this is just general car maintenance knowledge. How a fuel injection works. Do you know how a carburetor works?
I don't even know what a fucking carburetor is.
Well, let me tell you about ladies' perfume sprayers from 1890 because it's the same principle. It works on negative pressure instead of positive pressure, like fuel injections. So the idea of a carburetor is to atomize the fuel without a computer or any sort of anything else. It uses the natural Venturi effect of when you move a volume of air through from a large volume to a small volume, the velocity of the air-fuel mixture increases, which makes the pressure decrease at the other end, creating a light mist that can be then driven through the intake plenum or intake manifold into the. I got to show you the inside of a carburetor. It is wonderfully simple. I love carburetors. I don't know how to make this interesting for you.
I
You made the.
would love if you were on a date and this is the first thing you said to whomever you sat across. Like, how are you?
Let me tell you about carburetors.
But they ordered he ordered carbonara, and you thought he said carbonators.
Like, trying to date guys and being into cars is like these two almost incongruent things. Because
How long have you been dating guys?
1 year.
Oh,
I only.
Heard a noise.
Oh, we clicked
Noise.
again.
Did we click? I mean, at least the stuff.
Using a camera that's not meant for this.
Yeah. At least the information that he knows is a lot more useful than the information that I would like spout about on a hypothetical date. This is like why I'm kind of relieved I'm off the market, if for no other reason than that I like would just spout out about like every Best Picture winner from like 1980 to now of just like completely useless information that literally has no function unless I'm on some sort of game show where there's actual value in knowing those things. But, or in case I want to just give movie recommendations about that. But even then, it's like my tastes are so idiosyncratic that I don't think the things I like are necessarily going to be things that anyone else is going to find interesting. It's like we had a question about a week or two ago about like what are the great car movies of all time. And honestly, I had a hard time actually thinking of any, because for me, a great car movie is a movie that just has a really cool chase scene in it. So, I mean, you can say The French Connection. Lethal Weapon. That could have been a good, well, like, I
would say Speed.
Speed, yeah, with the bus. Because it's funny.
10 minutes of Baby Driver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Speed, it's like, okay, as a kid, I used to think like, well, the speed limitations are like they're like, oh, you're going 55 miles an hour. That's so fast. Like, you can't drop below. And then you actually get old enough to drive and you're driving on your own and you find it hard to sort of end up below 55 by any circumstance, really. So,
well, I thought because it's a bus.
Yeah.
A city bus.
True.
So the idea of a bus is that it picks people up, takes off, has to stop to drop people off. And so going below 55 is something that happens a lot.
Yeah.
But if it happened in like a car on the highway, you'd be like, yeah, this is the easiest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Speed is, I think, one of my favorite, I guess, like, would you consider Speed a car movie? Or a bus film?
I don't know.
Because like the entire film arcs around the existence
I just
of this
could never
bus.
get around the stupid jump that the bus made.
What about that movie with Charlie Sheen where he kidnaps a girl
with the candy bar?
Yes,
and Henry Rollins was in that movie.
Henry Rollins and Flea and Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah.
What movie was that?
Shit, I don't
The
actually
Heist?
know.
The
Heist or the host?
No,
Hang on,
let
let's
us
see.
know in the
The
chat.
Getaway?
Charlie Sheen movies.
Yeah, the people in the chat will be faster. What's that thing?
Sheen.
Because I remember
Man, I love that movie.
The Chase.
Chase, yes. And then she ends up falling in love with it.
Yeah.
From 1994, which further
Kristen
proves.
Swanson was in that, I think. She's such a babe.
Yes, she was in that.
Yep.
It's so what? I feel like all good things came out in 1994. It's like that
The
was
90s
just...
were the best.
Oh, they
really were.
Everything sucks after 9/11.
I'll never forget the first time. Like, I was a freshman in college.
9/11 happened? Oh,
when,
how old are you?
41.
Are you?
Yeah.
You look great.
Well, thanks, man.
Damn. Yeah. Wow.
I was born in 81. So I was a freshman in college. And I'll never forget my one roommate who, like, there was this one kid in our not good coffee, huh?
Oh, God. The coffee from Sheets. God,
It's-
it
it's-
ain't no
it's-
Wawa, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not Wawa.
No.
And honestly, it's like...
Where's my thermos? I love these chairs because you don't want to get up out of them.
I know. This
true.
Is, this
Oh,
chair
it's all the way
is
over there
so-
by my Pelican case.
This, Ethan, get back here. This chair is so comfy.
Yeah?
I love it. Yeah.
Man, you want a chair like that, man, if you ever come back here, we can go to the auction time bid board and you can, it's a silent auction, but you can buy furniture for like $20.
If I come up and do that, I'll need a tractor trailer to take home all the shit. I would not be able to stop going, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I want that.
It's great because like a lot of the antique, like New York City is 135 miles that way. So you feel its influence, especially in like the antique shops. They're going for the people in like Williamsburg or something like that who are ready to pay like $700 for a set of chairs. Totally. But the bid board hasn't gotten there yet. So this was $10.
No
and
way.
like that was
much
$5.
this?
About that's dead grandma.
But
I saw some great like 70s chairs, like Ron Burgundy, so kind of like lean back slack. They were there.
I love that.
So the idea is, you write your name on this card, and then someone can outbid you like later, but you just go home and then they'll send you an email if you want, so you can go pick up your stuff.
Nice.
What were we talking about? Something about 9/11, because I don't want to say people's names, but my one roommate, I heard him coming down the hall. I'm watching on a Zenith like 12 or 13 inch TV in the dorm room, watching this, just kind of looking at it. And I hear my one roommate come down the hall, yell at another kid, saying, "Newman, you're so fat, you're making buildings fall down." Comes into my room without this is just plops down in his chair, opens up MS Paint, draws a picture of the tower with a plane going in it, and then draws sunglasses on it, and then it says, "Yo, are we playing Counter-Strike?" And
God.
And then I miss that guy so much. He was one of these like naturally.
Is he dead?
Nah, he just became. I don't know what became of him. He would like work for a mobile phone company. He got the axe because he just failed out. Because he just would go to the diner at 4 in the morning.
What school?
Kutztown University.
Kutztown. Nice.
I mean, I used to do that at Penn State, but back then we were going like straight from the bar to the diner and then going home, getting like 2 hours of
Nothing
sleep.
better than a good diner hang.
Yeah,
No,
it's
yeah,
great.
waffles
Nothing
in the
better.
morning.
Oh my God.
But
And when you could smoke in the diners.
Oh man,
Ooh, chain smoking
that
coffee
ended in
all night.
2006. That shit was over.
Not a smoker myself, but the smell of cigarettes in the bowling alley growing up in the 90s, that meant, hey, it's a party, it's a hangout. Even though I'm not, like all the middle school kids would go to buy their cigarettes from Westwood bowling lanes because they still had one of those old machines with the pinball
yeah.
plungers.
And the machines do not card.
No.
Nope.
It was around it was around the corner by Cruisin' USA,
Love it.
and the coat rack was in the way, so no one at the desk could see who was messing with the cigarette machine in the arcade.
We used to have to stand outside a gas station and ask people to buy cigarettes.
That sucks.
And we would just, they were like $5 a pack or whatever. It was no big deal. But now, I mean, New York City, cigarettes are like $16, $17 a pack.
Damn.
But I got guys that sell them to me for like $9. Now I go to Delaware and I get, cartons and bring them back.
Because your tax haven down there.
Yeah, baby.
That and all. Corey lives in Wilmington.
Yeah?
Walton. Yeah.
Hmm.
She's been dying to come up here. Friend of the show.
Oh, nice.
If you've ever touched a Wawa touchscreen, that's her code in there. So
What?
Amazing.
She works for a design
wow.
company down there. Complains about it constantly because it's like, I'm the girl programmer and I have to deal with all these weebs who are like, I'm actually this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta remember. We did a review on Delaware. Now I just gotta remember to edit it. I've been kind of like dragging my feet because
Here's the review. Ready? It rules. Boom. Move
You
on.
butted in line. Pennsylvania should have been the first state.
Right.
Everything was written
Get
here.
out of here.
We wrote the paperwork. It was all done here.
We were smart enough to have you do the work and us take the credit. So fuck off. We are the winners. Number one.
You
first
butted in
state,
line.
Delaware.
You cuts and butts. Someone else, it should have been whoever delegate should have done it first and ratified the Constitution. Pennsylvania was number
You guys are
one.
Too slow. Too slow.
I heard we drive slow.
yeah,
Not me in that fucking 5-0. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, can we have the? Who's texting me?
Oh,
Can we look up and find the actual lyrics to Ice Ice Baby?
Sure.
Where he says,
Yes.
"Cruising in my 5.0 with the rag top down, so my it's Bic or bitch or something."
Big can blow? I don't know. So when you go on dates with guys, how fast is it before you start car talk?
It's rough because if they know what I do and know the show, they want to
ask.
tell me about their cars, and I hate that.
Right.
Because it's like I don't really do car meets anymore. We used to have car meets for the show. People would come and it'd just be a car show, but it was weird being the center of attention outdoors. I heard comedy outdoor just sucks.
Yeah.
And so now it's strange to find like 30 people following me everywhere I go while having a car show and expecting me to be riffing on their cars and making fun of them and stuff like that. So, and since regular car reviews is it's maybe the only LGBTQ friendly car show, and the narrative of
Is that why you had me on as the first guest?
No,
Because I'm part of that umbrella.
I mean, I respect you, and it was a cold call. You know what? Fuck it. Ian Finance is right there. Worst, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
So you just
I
say,
loved
hey,
it.
yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, rolling in my 5.0 with my rag top down so my hair can blow. The girlie's on standby, waving just to say hi. Did you stop? No, I just drove by. Kept on pursuing to the next stop. I busted a left and I'm headed to the next block. The block was dead, yo, so I continued to A1A Beachfront Avenue. Girls were hot wearing less than bikinis, rockman lovers driving Lamborghinis, jealous because I'm out getting mine, shade with a gauge and vanilla with a 9, ready for the chumps on the wall, the chumps acting ill because they're full of 8-ball, gunshots rang out like a bell, I grabbed my 9, all I heard were shells, falling on the concrete real fast, jumped in my car, slammed on the gas, bumper to bumper, the avenue's packed, I'm trying to get away before the jackers jack. Police on the scene, you know what I mean, they passed me up, confronted all the dope fiends. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it, check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
Wow. So hair can
That's
blow.
all in Ice Ice Baby?
Like there's a gun. I don't remember
Whoa,
a gun battle.
I really
Any
don't
of
remember.
that.
Yeah, I want to say
What?
like they probably had like
That was a
radio
violent
edit.
song.
Yeah.
Well, that and I mean,
He's cruising in a Mustang. He's got a 9mm ready to go.
That's what I said I wanted. When we were in the car, I was like, I want a cigarette in my right hand and a gun in my left. I would have felt so cool. Although I can't shoot a gun left-handed. Right-handed, I'm a good shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, going on dates with guys about car stuff. So now it's a little bit easier because my buddy, buddy Jim Shulman and a bunch of other people who was at that party who I sent you that picture. They started a car group called Junkyard Gay Bar for a Lemons rally, so they could just have their own thing. And most of these guys are just like mid-state, PA, Delaware, Jersey guys who just go on the Lemons rallies. Which is where you buy the shittiest car you can and then see if it makes it. Yeah. So those are fun. In fact, that picture up there was from one of them.
Oh, that's great.
That's my buddy Justin Lose. We drove a Yugo, which is a Yugoslavian car. Yes,
I know a Yugo, yeah.
Oh, where do you know a Yugo from?
Yeah, I just know what it is.
It was featured in Die Hard with a Vengeance. They throw a gold brick through a car after
and they're on the FDR, right?
Yeah, and there's like, can't this hunk of bolts go any faster?
Yep.
That's a Yugo.
Hammer just went again.
Hammer just went again. Yeah. Turn it off, turn it on.
So what's happening in the YouTube chat when that's going on?
Oh, people are just going to probably type the letter F, and like press F to pay respects.
What's that mean?
Oh, it's a video game reference from, I think, Mafia 1 or 2.
It's from, I believe, either a Call of Duty or a Medal of Honor, in which
you are so away from a microphone right now.
That's right.
Yeah. So this is... I feel lonely. I'm just I'm gonna look at the chat right now.
Yeah, let's say what's up to the chat.
Alrighty. So, am I following myself? Because this is on the second channel.
There we go.
You know what? Why don't I just go on the second channel?
So yeah, it's basically from one of those like military shoot 'em up games where there's a cut scene in which you go to a military funeral and you walk up to the casket, and if you're playing on a keyboard, the input would be press F to pay respects. And people thought it was so inherently ridiculous that people are actually, that's something you can do in a video game, that it just sort of became the thing of like anytime something dies, people just say F. So when the stream dies, just get a bunch of F. Yeah, we have a shitload of Fs right here. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's.
I'd like to think that F stands for Fidance. Whatchamacallit? What's up, chat? Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This is fun. Whatchamacallit? Oh man, if I ever get divorced because the love has failed, I'm just gonna say F. That's what I'll explain.
I mean, I feel like I would be a very great. Actually, no, that's kind of. I was going to say, I feel like I would be a very great, like, divorced middle-aged man, but I actually know me well enough to know that I would probably fall to pieces.
Well, you look the part.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Hey, I've looked divorced since I was, like, 22.
Oh, God.
I look like one of those, like, mopey, sad sack kids who got married way too young.
Is that what happened?
Oh, no.
Oh,
but if only. Because then I would have all sorts of, like, fun life experience.
Yeah.
And in terms of... But, like, for me, I was just terrible at everything. Like, dating, I was terrible at. Fucking the holding down a job, terrible at that. Like, it's one of those things where, in your youth, when you're supposed to be learning how to thrive, it's like one fuck up after another. And so once you...
Well, I think you learn from the fuck ups.
Yeah.
I think you have to fuck up in your youth in order to learn from it. You know, the best learning tool is failure.
Yeah.
And the best way to get through that is to never quit.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as you're still breathing, you're still in it.
Yeah.
And
totally.
so...
The only failure is quitting.
Yeah. I mean, like, there are so many things. Like, before, RCR, I was like, I don't know what I was going to do with my life because I was trying to get, like, teaching jobs and tutoring jobs and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And trying to get licensed to teach in Pennsylvania is like jumping through flaming hoops.
Everywhere it is,
Yeah. And
so it was for me in New York, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just be a carpenter.
You were a carpenter?
Yeah, for like 4 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
There are levels to carpentry. Are you like out on job sites with like a miter saw, or is this finished carpentry?
Yeah, no, I was like a home remodel carpenter.
Oh, wow.
So I was like kitchens, basements, bathrooms, tile, drywall. Some finished, but nothing ornate. But
what's the name of the wood that goes
crown molding?
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know how houses work. That's why Greg does everything around here.
Yeah.
I know this house.
What's next? Hit me. What's another thing?
This does not have drywall, and
It's plaster.
Okay. This house was built 18.
I can tell by the outlets you redid the electrical.
Yes. When I came in, a few things were grounded. That was one of my things. Greg, can you ground the outlets? I know those are the hot water going upstairs. They run inside the house.
Yeah.
The original part of the house ended here.
So the kitchen's add-on?
Yeah. And then there's another bathroom add-on to that. And the bathroom upstairs is past this. So that was that. Well, obviously the house predates plumbing.
Yeah. Bathroom's huge. This is a beautiful house.
Oh,
really
thank
nice.
you, Greg. Yeah, I mean, I do know it's called symmetrical, I think. Because I don't know if that like weird sort of doors there. This is an incredibly good podcast. Let's talk about architecture. Yeah.
Is the chat saying F because we're dying right now?
Some vaguely relevant regular chat questions.
The Racing Mind says, does the house have square nails?
Whoa.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
The one Kia says, good evening, gentlemen. Which lens is Mr. Regular using with is Nikon D5300? There are a number of fast AFS primes wide-angle lenses that could be used to further improve the camera's acuity. We're currently using the big full-frame D750 being shoved through a 70 to 200 millimeter lens.
Yeah, shove it.
But we're using Nikon's webcam utility, and the video you are seeing is the output from the viewfinder screen in the rear. So you were not really getting the resolution of a full frame. And I don't think one of these cameras, like the old SLRs, could be used at their full resolution for webcam streaming because it may just overheat by keeping the CCD charged like that. I think you need like a dedicated video camera if you want to use it as a webcam, or just buy a webcam. I mean, your podcast has a camera. What is it?
I have no idea. It's my producers.
It looks good.
Thank you. I do everything creative is mine. Everything technical is theirs. I have no fucking.
Hey, we got a car question.
Ooh, for me.
What are your thoughts? I guess it's for everybody, or who knows. Chuck says, what are your thoughts on the 2004 Honda Ridgeline?
2014.
2014 Honda Ridgeline.
Don't get me started.
Although
on
I don't
Ridgeline,
know if that makes
man.
a difference.
Here, you go first.
Honda Ridgeline is a unibody
truck. Yep. Go ahead. Sorry. I'll let you finish. You go ahead. Sorry. You take it.
It has a non-standard bed, cannot correctly hold sheetrock. I think the wheel arches are in the way, so they won't lay flat. They'll lay on the side. That's a kind of lifestyle truck. Some people really like them because, like, hey, it's a Honda. It's really good. We've never reviewed a Honda Ridgeline. I want to. I want to see how much like a Honda Odyssey minivan it's going to feel like.
I'll tell you what, man. The only thing that'll give you trouble in this world is tits and tires. No, you know what I mean, brother.
It's like Honda Ridgelines are like the NPC of trucks. They just, I mean, I've seen them show up with like some electricians, I think, like them. Because it's just oddball sized stuff that they can put in. Mm-hmm. Some of them come with a little... You know who's the only other comedian I know who talks... It's Tom Segura.
Is he a car guy?
Yeah. Him and Kreischer started the fake race team. It's called that? Two Bears Racing, and they're doing it for laughs. Matt Farah sourced a BMW. I think was it
3?
Was it a 3 Series or was it 5 Series? People in the chat immediately are going to know about this because it's aside from Jerry's show, that comedian Cars Getting Coffee, which I guess is not really about cars. It's just kind of a vehicle. Well, literally is a vehicle.
I was just going to say a vehicle, if you will.
Yeah, that's the one where like Jerry is obviously knowledgeable about everything because he's a big car guy. But the people he brings on are like, do we have to talk about this? Yeah. He brings like this air-cooled Porsche from 1974. It's like, this is this and this is this. And they're like, uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. But it's tough because like conversations with other car guys, even like the Junkyard Gay Bar, it's just facts, numbers, facts. Yep. How about this engine, this displacement? Well, this one had this lift and duration on the camshaft. And afterwards, it just gets, you see how little about cars this podcast is.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's kind of the same way with comedy. Like so many comics talk shop and they talk comedy and this and this. Did you see that? And I'd much rather talk about anything else. Yeah. Which is why I'm like a huge music guy. So I enjoy talking to comics about music or other people about music. So like, and I feel like that when you have to talk constantly about your profession, it takes joy out of it, and having to hear other people and you're just like, oh God. So I always love to talk about anything else but comedy.
Okay.
You know? Not to say I won't answer questions or anything.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like a lot of comics only want to talk stand-up or like this special and this and this. I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I want to shut my brain off and not have to. Yeah. I'd much rather nerd out on other shit, you know?
I get some of that with like if gay car culture is a thing.
You're leading the charge.
Yep. I may be.
Yeah.
It may just be us. Well, even he's the straight one, and I pass for straight very easily.
And now a lot of people think I'm gay.
Yeah, I wonder.
He has the higher voice.
Yeah.
And I just go the radio voice, you know.
Yeah.
You listen to the radio voice, Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown, broadcasting at 88.3 FM, 1670 AM, and online at kur.kutztown.edu.
Did you do college radio?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I guess it's a way of just attenuating your voice a little bit.
I guess it's a way of attenuating your voice. Welcome to.
But I can't do the sports. I can't do the sports announcer voice. That's a very specific thing.
Welcome to Sports Talk 97.5. I'm your host, Touchdown Terry, and today we're talking wide receivers.
KYW News Time. KYW News Time is 5:55 p.m.
5 till 6.
It is 37 degrees on Independence Mall. And traffic is packed. It picks up from the Boulevard to Girard.
Yeah.
Just like Philly stuff.
Say from the Boulevard to Girard. Always.
This is great. People from the West Coast, like I don't ever talk because all these fucking YouTubers, they just moved they all moved to Southern California, and it's like ugh.
I hate it. No.
And like there's like I want to stay in PA like almost forever. I have no real desire to leave sort of like the Philly area. Even though like I had this conversation with these guys from like, it was before your show. There was like this brewery attached to the Punchline.
Yes. Yep.
Whatever it was called. And I just right in there. And they were air traffic controllers from Vegas.
Wow.
And we just, made general conversation. So, and after he like drinks 3 beers really fast, and he's like, the dad like, let me ask you a question.
Oh God.
Why is it so goddamn cold here? Why do you live here? What are the housing prices here?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Well, okay. You want like a studio apartment and sort of like the general area. Maybe like Fishtown, Northern Liberties is a little bit hipster, but over under you're looking at $400,000 for maybe like 900 square feet for something like this if you want to live downtown.
Did you grow up in Philly? Or did you grow up in
I grew up around here.
Okay.
But I worked in Lansdale, which is at the very tip of the SEPTA line. So you can go from like Williamsburg.
New York? What? Brooklyn.
What?
William.
The big town in Delaware. Wilmington.
Wilmington.
Yes.
You can go SEPTA. Does SEPTA go into Delaware, or is there a rail?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's New Jersey Transit. I don't know if it's SEPTA. I'm not sure. I used to take it years ago, and my memory is shot. I forget so much. And so I think it's either SEPTA or New Jersey Transit.
Okay.
I always do Amtrak. They've really like lowered their prices. I love taking the Amtrak down from New York down to Delaware. It's really nice. Yeah. Or like down to DC or up to Boston. So I love it. I would much rather do that than fly. Even though I don't mind flying, but I just love the view.
Have you ever flown a small plane?
No.
You wanna?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now. Let's go.
Well, Greg's plane is IFR, but he's getting it back from paint.
Yeah, I was talking to him. That's wild. He's a pilot. That's amazing.
Yeah. So he's been
come back.
teaching.
We'll fly a plane. He's been teaching you.
Yeah.
No
I have
way.
6 hours and I have 2 landings. And like, if he loves taking people flying, if you're like, hey, Greg, Ian's back. He wants to, have a discovery flight. He'll be like, okay, I'm Greg. Let's go.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
So he has 2 of them. He has the bigger one is
4-seater and the other's 2-seater.
Yep. Did he talk about it?
Yeah.
They're his babies. He likes them.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun with him. We hung out outside. He let me drive his Mustang, which was great.
What was your thoughts on the 1969 Mustang?
Man, it was heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy. Yeah. Well, I loved that. What year was the white one?
1990.
90. I love the 90. The 90. It's funny that I think you were telling me that the 90 was harder, or it was going to be like more of an ordeal.
I thought so because it has the short throw shifter and a heavy clutch. Yeah,
I loved it. Yeah, the 69 was. I mean, that thing was a friggin' boat. You know, I was yanking on the wheel to get it.
No
around.
Power steering in that. That was an option.
Yeah, but I loved it.
There was nothing. Oh, since summertime, and I've driven that thing. Look at all these Republicans who don't know I'm gay. I had a 19, like the project car for this when I was still in the closet was a 1960 Ford Falcon sedan.
What do you mean project car?
We ripped everything out of it and rebuilt the car with a whole new driveline. A302, like we've been commanding all afternoon. It's just a different version of it. Double A-arm front suspension in the rear. We pulled a rear end out of a 1998 Ford Explorer, Eddie Bauer edition.
Hey.
So that meant I had limited slip in the rear, or they call it Ford True Track. And
slip in the rear. Take me out to dinner first.
No seatbelts in it. No power steering, but we had a generous ratio and a bigger steering wheel, so it wasn't like that.
No power steering is wild.
Yeah. Yo, when you go around a corner and let go, that thing, wham, wants to go right back. All the forces is just going through right the steering box and right back up here.
And the brakes were way more spongy than the.
Oh yeah, 90. They suck. Those are drum brakes all the way around.
Oh, dude,
they're like tractor brakes.
I scared Greg for a second, but he was like, "I'm actually impressed with how you're driving this. You're shifting really well." He's like, "You're a lot better than my wife." I was like, "Well, I don't think that's saying much, but thanks, Greg."
Yeah.
Hearing that I was driving well from you is like, woo, high praise.
Oh, well.
Put that in my bio.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. The second you found the little dead spot in the middle, and just went, what put me at ease was when you went let me row through them again so I know. And I'm like, okay, that's what you do. Let me find them again. Because
it's so heartbreaking that nobody knows how to drive stick anymore. It's so fun and interesting, and it's like calming and meditative in a way, you know, and it like really... It makes you feel one with the car. You know?
It totally does. It's a direct drive. You're not going through a fluid coupling like with a torque converter. Is the Highlander you brought here, is that a traditional or a hybrid? Do you know? Either one.
I don't know.
Okay. We used a Highlander once on one of our shoots as the camera car when we were up Mount St. Helens filming a mail truck up there, which you can't buy.
Interesting.
People know the thing. I won't waste a bunch of times. I know we are getting late. It is 6 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up.
Wrap it up within 5.
I apologize that we did not get any super chats. This channel did not make money, but I will be compensating you accordingly.
That's okay.
And Ryan Bowie says, well, we're gonna, even though there's no super chats, we'll be okay with answering just a few questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think some of these are from me. Oh, turn up Ian's mic. Okay.
Ooh.
You are the...
Usually I'm a yeller, so...
Compression up. Give me test.
Test. Come on now, y'all. I was driving a 5090 Mustang with a rear differential, and you won't even believe what was on the front end.
Mr. Regular, do you still drive motorcycles anymore? Currently, we're watching all your motorcycle reviews. Love those. Motorcycle reviews don't make a whole lot of money. The motorcycle community is much smaller, and car people aren't always motorcycle people, and some people only are into bikes. Now, and they'll watch the videos, but as far as like an engagement and the amount of money I'll get from YouTube is not that great, which sucks because I love motorcycles. Your friend Jordan, she rides a bike around. Motorcycle,
yeah.
Around, what kind is it?
I don't know.
Is it a shifting foot peg?
Yeah.
It's not a scooter.
No.
It's a real bike.
Yeah.
I'd like to find out. I don't even follow her on Twitter or Instagram. I should do that. What is it?
Her Instagram?
Yeah.
Jordan Jensen LOL stop.
And while let's get our plugs out of the way.
Yes.
All your stuff.
I am on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, iAnimal69. That's where I posted a ton of stuff, my tour dates. Podcast is Being Ian with Jordan. It's available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Patreon.com/BeingIanPod. What's up, Bye Guys with Zach Amico on Gas Digital Network.
108,000 followers.
She's great, man.
Holy
She's the
crap.
best. Jordan's the best, man. We're having so much fun doing the podcast. We're going to start going on the road together. Speaking of which, December 2nd and 3rd, I'm going to be at Comedy Works, Saratoga Springs. December 8th, I'm headlining Pittsburgh Improv.
Nice.
And that weekend, I'll be opening for the great David Tell. And I have a ton of stuff coming up in the new year. I'm going to be in Florida.
That thing click off?
Yep.
Yeah.
Denver, all over. IanFidance.com.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody who we got no super chats, but thank you to everybody who donates to our Patreon. You are helping Regular Car Reviews to exist as a much larger channel than it really is. Thank you to everybody who watches on Monday. You are helping us have jobs. Thank you to everybody who participates in our car giveaways. Of course, we spoiled the next one. Yes, it is a 5.0. Awesome. That one will be released next month. You'll see the video. So thank you to everybody who takes part in the giveaways. You are funding our travel budget, RCR Australia 2024. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cast our mail-in ballots and get the fuck out of the country.
And thank you, everyone who watched RCR Stories today. It was intended to be a Halloween video, but I work slow. So it was kind of a surprise one. But the RCR story that I told you guys that I was going to be working on is still in the making, and I'm still working on it. So aiming for Christmas, really hoping for that. So, yeah. Oh, also, speaking of Christmas, the annual RCR Christmas song comes out on December 5th. And, just follow me on Twitter or something. I'm the Roman Nick. Same on Instagram, too, but that's whatever.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, to watch this. Wrapping it up. Chris, now everybody starts saying, everybody will start like putting in comments. A super chat. Ryan Bowie, $1.99.
Hey,
super chat.
Thank you.
Super chat. Thank you to Ian for coming. I'm sorry I'm broke.
That's great. Thank you. Super chat it up for the next minute, motherfuckers.
Yeah, how about you do? If you do super chats for the next minute, we'll do that. Russell Park, see, this is the stuff. Zigzag says, damn, I missed the show. Normally when it comes to actually making a lot of money doing super chats is where the ones that make the most money are the ones that are just called Brian and you, where it's just me. I will answer all of your questions. And then super chats come in bing, bing, bing. And I think that's one of the reasons like why Stavi Solves Your Problems is so successful. Because I've tuned in on that. People are throwing him hundreds. Like,
wow. Well, he was also during the pandemic donating it all to charity, too.
He was?
Yeah. But he's bringing that podcast back. I actually just did an episode that's coming out. I think it's one of the first ones coming out.
Is it a public one or a Patreon one?
I believe public.
Does he do Patreon or just?
He is. Yeah, I believe so. But he's bringing it back. It's great. Really fun. And I'm really happy for him, man.
All right. Great evening, everybody. Is Twitter still a thing? Ride motorcycles? Yeah, when I found out, one last thing. When I found out that Jordan rides motorcycles, I'm like, what kind of motorcycles would you like? Because I can get you some stuff to just show up.
Oh, wow.
At the thing. So if she's into bikes, she's interested in doing some of this, like having another viewpoint. She wants to have a time to come out and just, here's a bunch of bikes and drive them and tell me what you think. Yeah, that could make that happen.
I'd love to. I've driven motorcycles before.
You have a motorcycle
I'd love
license?
to do that. No, I don't have a license. No, but I've driven friends. But yeah, I wish I knew more about cars, but I just love driving them and feeling, same thing about guns. I love shooting guns, but I don't know too much about it. I am learning, but I really enjoy it. I'm a red-blooded American through and through. I love it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Let's wrap this up.
Have
a good night.
Have a great night.
Good night.